This is William Noble, PGA professional at St. Anne's Golf Club. This is stage one of what I do as a pre-shot routine for my warm-up before competition, or even a game of golf, but mainly for competition. This is really for what you should try and develop, what fits into your time frame. Mine's an hour and a half. I know it's fairly extensive, but I'll explain why. If yours is an hour, 45 minutes, I believe half an hour is the least amount of time because of getting out of the car, getting ready, and where you need to be before you're going to get onto that first tee, to give yourself a fair chance of actually performing at the level you feel you need to perform at based on your handicap. And it doesn't matter what handicap it is, but try and fit it into your lifestyle. So I think it's not a big ask to ask anybody to arrive half an hour before the tee time and go through a digestive version of what I'm doing or something that works for them. As I said, mine takes about an hour and a half. Before the night before a competition, I would have always had a plan and action of how I'm going to play the course, and I would mentally play every hole in my head, from tee shot to putting, chipping, until I feel comfortable with mentally how I've played every hole from 1 to 18. Then I have a definite way of playing the golf course, and I'm completely ready to walk onto that first tee and stick to my game plan and be completely in cue and in the zone of getting around that golf course. If there's any hole I'm not 100% about, it normally shows up in my scoring on that hole, and it has happened in the past. So I work very hard on that mental approach before I get onto the golf course. So the first thing I normally do is, I call it the flamingo warm-up. It's a one-legged drill. It's quite simple. I use a chair or a bench if it's at the golf club, and I stand on it, one leg, so my left leg's on the ground. I tilt into my 8-iron position and I turn into that position, and I repeat that about 10 times on both legs. So I'm going to do 5 on each because this is a video for use, and then I same again. And I know you might say, well, you didn't do what you said you do. Well, it's just video, but you know, I kind of do it 10 times each way, and then turn into that leg that's on the ground always. I really feel it helps work on stretching my torso, my shoulders, helps strengthen my ankles, and gives me a good sense of balance as well. And you're going to hear me mentioning that quite a lot today. Now, the other drill, I have a speed sticks. I have a load of them. I do to just get my body warmed and get it going. It's a step drill. So step forward and release. Step forward and release. And it doesn't matter, you swing as hard as you can just to get that body alive. Back and forward. And then I do it left-handed as well. Left-handed grip. Forward and release. And release. And release. Now, I'll move that chair out of the way. Then from there, what I normally do is the first club, which you'll probably find unusual. I know Tom Watson does. He warms up with a 4-iron, but he does that because he's got a steep swing. I normally go to my driver. Now, you have to be careful because you don't want to injure yourself. Move this chair a bit further back again. I feel it really warms up my body and it wakes up my body and gets me going. And I'll hit maybe 5-10 shots with the driver. So I just get up to it any old way. Just grip onto it. Normal swing, and swing as hard as I can. And just keep repeating that over and over and over again. So I'll do it again. Just to wake up my body. Get some blood rushing. And then it adds speed to the rest of my the rest of my clubs. And I just swing away. That's it. Then after I've hit a few of those shots, I go to my favourite club, and for me it's an 8-iron. It's kind of right in the middle of the pack. It's not a bad club to start with. And the reason I do this, I hit about 10 to 20 shots. Mainly going through, picking boxes all the time. This is part of what your warm-up routine is. Mainly going through my setup, making sure the club face is square, which is this bit here, looking at the bottom of the club. Going through my grip, left hand in the fingers, thumb up top, right hand on top, and then try and get a feel of my grip pressure while I'm doing this. Double checking my ball position, working on balance, trying to get myself into a routine of what I'm going to have on the golf course with my practice swing. I get up, swing away, and go again. And I just keep doing this over and over again, about 20 shots, just warming up, getting a feel for, just repeat my setup so it becomes automatic. And it gets my mind on the right set from whatever I've done before I got to the club hub the day before. I develop a routine, set up, practice swing, get my feels again. So that one's slightly tin. I go again. 8 iron for me is a good club. As I said, it's half in between. I love the shape of the head, so I always like to use my favorite club, just so I don't have to think about anything else. I just repeat that about 20 times, hitting shot after shot. And then what I do from there is then I work through all the other clubs in the bag, from my wedges all the way up my driver, and they're all based on full shots. And when I'm doing this, at that stage, it's not about my grip, ball position. It's all about feeling if I'm relaxing my body right, mainly my tempo, my timing, and a huge amount to do with my balance, making sure I'm balanced with every shot and I have the feel that I want today. And when I'm doing that, I'm also, I'll go to one of my wedges, I'm also being aware of the contact on the ball, my tension levels, because it will be different when I'm on the golf course, and the big one, the flight of the ball. And what I mean by that is not just the height, but mainly the direction. I know under pressure, and especially in a tournament, my tension levels go up. So depending on how much they go up, it affects ball flight. So if I'm highly tense and under a lot of pressure, I'll hit low, nearly hooky shots, but it's quite a strong draw to a soft draw, which is ideally where I'd like to be. On my casual game of golf, it's just different. It's a mental thing. And I'm just getting up there, and whatever my tension levels are, I'm aware of it. I'm just swinging away, watching the ball flight, direction, height, and that's the visual image I have when I walk on a golf course. So it tells me, right, that's where I got to aim, that's how much it's going to move. I'm aware of the feels of my body. I'm not in shock if I hit a bad shot, and if I hit a bad shot, I recover, but I'm mentally prepared to get out on the golf course. So that would be my main warm-up section of, especially with my long game, hitting full shots, starting with, as I said, my warm-up drills with flamingo and the speed stick, feeding back to the driver to wake up the body, and then feeding backwards and dialing down the speed. But my body's awake, it's ready to go. And then from there, it's going through my routine, which is grip, posture, ball position. Then I'm working on balance, tempo, tension levels, being aware of that. And then finally, I'm looking at the way I hit the ball, the height, the flight. That dictates the way I play the golf course. And the very last club I'll hit with my long game before I go to my short game is the club I'm going to use in the first tee. And in St. Anne's, for me, that'll always be a driver. I know where I'm going to hit it. I'm visualizing the spot where I'm going to hit it, and I now know the shape I'm going to hit it. So I just get up like I did there earlier, and I just hit a driver and I feed on from there. So I hope this helps with stage 1. From there, I'll be talking to you about what I do in stage 2. So I'll speak to you soon.